You're looking at Scott Donie from SMU. He comes in to the final dive in 6th place.
This is an inward 2.5 somersaults. He'll somersault towards the diving board 2.5 times. Excellent last dive. A little strategy here throughout the competition. They do 11 dives. We've seen 10. Last round of the most difficult somersaulting and twisting dives, and he's chosen for his last an inward. Some of the other divers have done this dive earlier in the competition. 2.5 somersaults. Watch the great entry, straight in.
Got 7.5 and 2 8s from the judges and picked up 67 points.
Remember, in diving, anything better than a 7 is a good dive. So getting 7.5s and 8s, that was an excellent dive.
Here is the leader, Patrick Jeffrey from Ohio State, 22 years old. He was the 1-meter diving champion. Did a great dive on his last attempt to take it. Now what he's trying to do is preserve a 25-point lead.
And he's doing the same direction of dive that he did on 1 meter. 1 meter was a reverse 1.5 somersaults with 2.5 twists. This is with 3.5 twists. Most difficult twisting dive done in competition. Be your winner. The door is not totally closed, but that was a great dive. Just a slight over rotation. Watch as he takes off the diving board. He'll start somersaulting back towards us. Turn and do 3 1/2 twists. And a slight over rotation on the bottom. Judges take off a little bit for that.
Between 6.5 and 7.5 on his score. Now, what are the judges, and you can see he doesn't look terribly happy with it. What are the judges going to be looking for in the rest of this round, and especially from Rocha when he comes up to try to challenge for number 1?
Well, interesting point about this as we watch Roddick do his last dive, the same dive, is Rocha is also doing the same dive. So now the judges are doing 2 things. They're going to look at what they're supposed to for judging. That's the approach. That's walking on a diving board. The takeoff, how high do they get? The dive in the air, do they do exactly what they're supposed to be doing? And here you'll see whether Roddick does exactly what he's supposed to do, which is the 1.5 somersaults. Great jump. 1.5 somersaults, 3 1/2 twists. The last thing they look at is the entry, and you can see his legs twist a little bit. A lot of splash on the entry. They take off a lot for that. So here's the competition coming up. Now they're going to compare Rocha's to Jeffrey's.
Roddick finished 3rd in the 1 meter, but looks like he'll place 8th here. This is Rocha. He should be on the Mexican Olympic team, and this is his last chance.
Now he needs 9.5s and 10s to win. It's possible.
We haven't seen anything approaching that from the judges.
Not yet. An excellent last dive. Not enough.
No 9.5s.
Not 9.5s and 10s. That's the one contest where you want to have Luganis on your team on the board next.
That's right. 6.5 to 8, the range of the scores, and that will not be nearly enough.
Yeah, a little knee bend on the start of that. Straight up and down on the entry. It was good, just not really near high enough.
And Rocha had a 20-point lead to hold 2nd place coming in against Eric Murff, who is up next. Murff was 14th on the 1 meter. Last year he was 4th in the 3 meter competition.
And he's got a shot at 3rd again. Outside shot at 2nd. He'd need virtually a perfect dive to do it. This is a forward 3.5 somersaults in a pike position. He's going to somersault forward, but bend only at the waist. A little over rotation. When we talk about a 3-meter diving board, and you see 3.5 somersaults, you see 1.5 with 3.5 twists. They're only, that's the swimming, you know, your old basic swimming pool high board. They're only 10 feet off the water when they start.
It's like going out and trying it off your garage.
A little bit of spring on the end of your garage would about be right.
Good dive for Murff. He finishes with 582 points. Should be enough to hold 3rd for him. Next up, Mark Lenzi of Indiana.
Same dive as Rocha and Jeffrey. And this kid is Mr. Speed. And 1 meter and 3 meter, he doesn't necessarily jump as high, and he certainly doesn't get as good at entries. But he twists and somersaults as fast as anyone in the world.
Even in
not that high. Oh, yeah, not that high, but just lightning fast.
Looks like he's got plenty of time once he comes out of all the maneuvers.
Absolutely. Just doesn't have the stretch. Maybe quite the strength of some of the others.
That may move Lenzi into 4th place in this competition. Now, of course, when you talk about diving these days, you have to mention Greg Louganis. Where would these folks fall in competition with Louganis, and keeping in mind the Olympics coming up?
Watch Crowley do an excellent front 1.5 with 3 twists. Anytime you mention Louganis, the word that follows immediately is favorite in any contest. These guys are excellent divers. Many of them have competed internationally. Patrick Jeffrey has been on the U.S. national team and has pushed Louganis in many contests. Rocha has been on the Mexican Olympic team and has also pushed Louganis. But anytime you say major championship like Worlds or Olympics and Louganis, it's favorite.
This is the final dive of the competition. Tomasz Rossa out of Warsaw, Poland, going to school at Iowa.
And likely to be another Olympian.
Mm-hmm.
And a good last dive, but he's way down in the standings.
When you talk about Louganis, you talk about people pushing him, but not very often about beating him.
That's mostly true, because all they've managed to do is push him to greater performances. But he's going to have some good competition. Here you see for his final dive, it's 2.5 somersaults forward, 1 twist. Rossa from Iowa and Poland.
Patrick Jeffrey of Ohio State wins the 3-meter competition after taking the 1-meter competition, and he wins it by 23 points over Rocha.
And you can look to the platform competition, and Jeffrey's going to be one of the favorites there.
Now, not being a diver, I look at Jeffrey winning the 1-meter competition and sort of assume he is going to be the favorite in the 3-meter competition, but that's not necessarily so.
In the United States, the divers train 1 meter, 3 meter, and often platform. Same thing. Internationally, you'll see divers enter only springboard or only platform, so it doesn't necessarily follow.
The final results in the 3-meter competition: Jeffrey from Ohio State, the winner, Jose Rocha from Auburn, finishes 2nd, and Eric Murff from Southern Methodist takes 3rd. We'll be back with more from the NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships in just a moment.